Hello guys. So I got this old corn drying rack. Better say it, I found it thrown to a field close to the village, and a friend helped me to bring it here. Show it later more exactly. And somebody had the idea that I could document the restoring job I'm gonna do on this. I think it's must be at least 100 years old, as much as I can tell that. I have to say a few things about me and my work here. First, I'm not a professional carpenter and I'm not a professional restorer. Second, my mother tongue is German and I try to explain in English to make it more people understandable. And probably I'm missing some words or expressions. Please excuse that. And third, the most important question when doing that is to decide what is the plan. So as I'm not trying to make a museum here and also not art, my plan is to restore it in a way that it is useful again for drying corn in the future, and to not be ashamed for myself about my job I did. I have some experiences with restoring. So I had an old farmhouse in Austria and restored it for 16 years, mostly by myself. And this is a quite small job. Now I'm starting to explain to you the steps I'm doing. First thing I did was, after I brought it here, was cutting the legs. Because they were rotten already, and put them on some concrete. Second was to fix the stability by drilling new holes in these beams and putting wooden nails in it, how it was made before. So all this rack was connected by wooden nails. You can see it here. And I'm trying to do this the same way again. Okay, what is quite good and stable is the structure of oak beams. What is completely rotten is the roof. So I did all the roof construction off now, and after I've stabilized it, next thing to do will be to fix the roof. Whenever you look at old buildings, you can find that they recycled some old beams, and this is what I'm trying to do here too. I search for everything I can find in old oak beams, because they will make this rack look more stable and also more original. But there are also parts which are not necessary to use very long-lasting wood. So these parts I will make of new weak wood. So for example, this is one of the old beams which connect the two sides and also carry the roof. It's completely rotten, as you can see. And I remove it and replace it by this beam, which is quite old too. Not has the right dimension, but I'm trying to fix it in a way that it does its job and doesn't look ugly. On any restoration job, it mostly happens that when you start doing it, it turns out that much more is rotten than you thought at first. So this is the case here, also the same. And the decision is now which parts I want to replace and which are still good enough to keep the roof and the functionality of this rack for the next, let's say, 20 years. Best friend of a carpenter nowadays and of people living in the countryside in general is a chainsaw. So first thing I'm gonna do now is sharpen the chain. For most of the works I need both hands, and as I'm also the cameraman of my little movie, sorry I can't show you everything, but the chain is sharpened now, and I go up and will cut the one beam into its position. What makes restoration work always very difficult is because nothing is straight. The beams back in the days were not cut in the sawmill, but they were made by axe. So to get a decent result, you have to find out what is good enough. You cannot be too exact on millimeters, and still it should be stable and also good to look at. So now I've put this new connection in, cut it out, and now I'm having to work on the hole as a support for the rafters. So this is about how the rafters will be put in. And most of these constructions will keep stability without any nail. That's very important to mention, that the people back in the days still knew how to connect and protect woods without using a lot of nails or screws. Another thing to mention is that this is my first corn drying raft, so for sure I never restored one before. What I'm trying to do is just watch how it was made, learn from that and copy that. Okay, so the first of the 4 roof elements is done. Like this, I'm gonna do all 4 once before putting the leads